Folks, once again, we are back live on our usual Wednesday evening over here, discussing a potpourri of football subjects with a hint of blue cheese on top of our potpourri of salad of football topics. I'm your host, Jono, over here in Jersey. With me all the way down in Florida, because we're bypassing New York. Apparently the New York folk are all busy and working and so forth. We're bypassing the Carolinas. The good doctor is still in surgery. And we're going all the way down to Florida and to say hi to Reef. Reef, say hi to the good folks.
Hello, everybody. How you doing?
Good stuff. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping around the leagues. And then we're going to do some Premier League stuff, talk about the future. And in the second half, when we do our hint of blue cheese, etc. So let me do a bit of housekeeping. First of all, I need to remind you guys, because we always take questions from you guys, we're on bluecheese1905@yahoo.com. That's bluecheese1905, all one word, @yahoo.com. We do look at all your questions and so forth and your suggestions, and we put it together, and that helps the show and so forth, all right? All right, so let me do a bit of housekeeping. The Bundesliga kicked off last Friday with Bayern versus Schalke. Needless to say, Barcelona managed to get 2 goals against Bayern Munich, against the 8. But Schalke was blanked out, 8-zip. Bayern Munich, only 10 days ago, were playing in the Champions League final. And now they start their league and they're just like, hey, back, business as usual, back where we are. We may have lost a great midfielder in Thiago, but hey, we haven't left it. This is where we are, 8-zip back there. The Bundesliga is what the Bundesliga is, and I'm going to leave it at that and say, okay, I'm a fan of Dortmund, but hey, at this moment, Bayern is business as usual. Then after that, we went to the French League and Ligue 1. At this moment, PSG can't come back after the Champions League, beat Nice, Patrick Vieira's Nice, 3-0, blanked them out, showed pure domination throughout the whole game, was on beIN Sports and so forth. They're yet to, because of that, of course, they've had 2 losses, they're yet to top the Ligue 1. At this moment is Claude Puel's Saint Etienne. They're the ones who are now leading the French league. So that's the French league over and done with. Quickly go over to the La Liga. Last year's champions Real Madrid kicked off against Real Sociedad, and I was looking forward to David Silva starting, but he didn't. He came on as a sub. Needless to say, it was an extremely boring game. Finish 0-0. Gareth Bale has gone. Gareth Bale didn't play. He's already now, as you know, in Tottenham. We'll discuss that a little bit later. Eden Hazard is still injured. But it's a point for Real Madrid. They kicked off. It wasn't a loss. The leader of La Liga at this moment is Granada. So like a lot of these leagues, they're all chopping and changing as they're early starting. And then the next champions were Serie A, was Juventus. Juventus kicked off their campaign with a 3-0 win against Claudio Ranieri's Sampdoria. Comprehensive, Pirlo's first game. What do I have to report about it? Well, it was a victory for Pirlo. We've all had our discussions and our feel of how we feel about him, all right? It's early days. It's Sampdoria. What can I say? It's a victory, right? A victory is a victory. So that was 3-0, but they're not on top of, they're not leaders of their league at this moment. That goes to Genoa. So that's basically a roundup of the European leagues from last year's champions, what they're doing now, and where they stand and who's leading those leagues. We'll, throughout the whole year, we'll touch on them. Any of our guests who have any questions on European leagues. We do touch European leagues because a lot of players come into mix as well. There's Champions League football, Europa League football, and we do touch that. You can always get us on Blue Cheese 1905 at yahoo.com if you have any questions on that. Let us move to the Premier League. Now, I'm going to raise my glass and give, what's the name? A little bit of respect to Leicester and Everton, because they're not the traditional top 6 teams, but they're doing well, okay? James Rodriguez has been a revolution to Uncle Carlo. And of course, Leicester are doing their thing. How say you, Reef, to Everton and Leicester not being a traditional, because we're gonna go through the top 6, we're gonna go through the games of the top 6, but how say you to Everton and Leicester shaking up the tree a little bit?
Yeah, it was a good game. I mean, I enjoyed Leicester game. It was a good game. It was fun to watch it. They have like many players that can score for Leicester. It's not just Body.
Yeah.
And that was kind of good to watch it. Good to see that, you know. Something about Everton, they kind of bind players, strengthen the squad and everything. You know, James is there. I think he's assist one, he score one. So it's all over the place. It's kind of good to see it, that there's another people that fighting to the top.
It's good to see Everton's transfers finally being up. I mean, we're talking about years. They had Roberto Martinez, they had Ronald Koeman, they had Marcus Silva. They've had a lot of good managers, so to speak, on paper. And they've made a lot of transfers over the years, and it's come to of no use. It's early days. It's only 2 games, but it's good to see. You concur?
Yeah, it was good to see. I mean, you know, both of the team no come with a clean sheet. I mean, it's kind of important, but you know, I mean, we see what West Brom look like, you know, for Chelsea the next time, and we see what Leicester look like. You know, it's going to be interesting season. Absolutely, it's going to be a lot of fighters.
So apart from Jan, who chose Everton as part of his top 6, the top 6 that majority of the Blue Cheese Chelsea Boys crew chose are these games that are coming up, and let's go through them. The first one was Arsenal versus West Ham. Arsenal 2, West Ham 0. How say you, Reef, to Arteta consolidating his hold on how Arsenal are playing? And even at the end, for me, I thought it was going to end 1-1. And at the end, through a good substitute move, etc., Nketiah came along and made it 2-1. How say you to that game?
Yeah, it was a good game. Honestly, I did not watch the entire game. I watched the beginning of the game, so the second goal from Arsenal I didn't see, but I saw the first game from Lacazette, and it was kind of a good game. I watched only first half, no second half, but it was a good game. I'm glad for them that they win it. I mean, the second goal come like kind of quite late.
Very late.
So they win the game. They've, I think, 2 from 2 right now.
Yes, they are.
So they're kind of holding tight on the top. Arteta is very happy for his squad, you know.
Sure.
So they bring a win, you know. They bring the win home. So that's what I see.
I concur, and I give them, like I said, I did put them in my top 4 to finish in the top 4. Okay, next we had Spurs versus Southampton. Now, some of us play fantasy for our listeners who don't know. Some of us also play fantasy football. And the previous week we had Spurs versus Everton, and Spurs were diabolical. Whatever way you want to put it, were diabolical. Who saw this coming along, that Spurs will put 5-2 behind Southampton? How say you to this, Reef?
No, I didn't see it. I didn't see it, and honestly, I didn't see Son scoring 3 goals, and I mean, Eric Kane assisting all of them for him. I mean, no, it's four goals.
Yep, 4 goals, mate.
Exactly, and it's like, you know, Eric Kane assist. It's like almost like 2 players playing in a forward. It's Eric Kane. They worked very well for them against Southampton, and it's kind of surprised me because Southampton, in my observation last year, I thought they was stronger than this year. Again,
they were coming back after the lockdown. Southampton were killing it basically. They were hitting it. They beat Man City. They locked down Man City and locked them down. They were playing. They were coming along. Apart from losing Højbjerg, this is technically almost the same players from the lockdown, which has continued all the way through. But for surprise, they've been bad.
Yeah.
They've been
I
bad.
have to say something like that I'm so happy. I'm so happy that we're hearing the voice of the player right now. And the screaming on the pitch and everything like that. And there's no noise of a crowd. This is like amazing. Some people tell me like, oh, that's so cool. It feels like I'm watching soccer in the neighborhood. I'm like, yes. So that's something very credit that Premier League changed the things with that. I'm really happy with it. That was good for Jose. I'm very happy for Jose. I'm very happy for Song for all this goal he scored. And, you know,
are you happy for Dele Alli?
Not good, but good for them.
Are you happy for Dele Alli?
I don't know if he's happy for himself right now.
Are you happy for Gareth Bale? Gareth Bale has decided to come home. You know what they say about coming home, right?
Yeah, and that's what we say. What happened with the next girlfriend? Same story. So I don't know, but you know, we will see. The chemistry can work very well, but I don't know. It's kind of like very weird to judge it because we didn't see any game yet. We have to see all the units playing together.
True.
So good for them. I want to see them playing against the top 6. That's what I want to see.
I concur. Yes, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. All right, talk about top 6. Crystal Palace 3, Manchester United 1. How say you to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer being fired by Christmas?
I will say for that, yes, that could happen. I talked with my friend that is a fan of Man U, and I told him I give him 1 month, and he told me like, I give him Christmas. So what you're saying is kind of true for the Man U. They see that something like that can happen. From my point of view as a person, I'm happy with the results. Don't hate me, Man U fan. You know, I'm amazed to see Zaha in great shape, great game. Man U, they didn't have a good game. They didn't have a good communication. They didn't have nothing going on there, nothing at all. So
Man U basically, Zaha came back with revenge. Zaha returned to Old Trafford and said, you guys, listen, I'm going to treat you like how I treated David Moyes' daughter, and I'm going to beat you with it. And he beat them good and proper. Okay, granted, there was all the controversy regarding the penalty, etc., the retake of the penalty and all of that lot. But truth be told, Crystal Palace were on the day far better, sharper than Manchester United. Even with all of their toys on there, even Van der Beek came on and so forth and all that lot with their toys on there, could not match Crystal Palace. And it's Roy, old Uncle Roy Hodgson. It's surprising, man. The man's heading towards 80 years old. And he's going to be the oldest manager in football history ever. But it looks like he's going to keep them up. They're in the top right now. They're doing what they always do. They get their 40 points, and they're safe for another season. And that's it, man. You know. So let's
You know,
enjoy them.
I hope this season is going to be different for them because, you know, every win gives you more and more confidence. So we will see. And you know what? This is the second game for the season, and they beat top six. So it has to give you more confidence ahead. So it's important.
It should. It should. You know, it should. At this moment, they've got nothing to lose. They said that they came out running at early, and they took it to Manchester United. You got to. It's intimidating. Manchester United are, on some people's opinion, meant to be top four. Not mine, but they're meant to be top four. So to come out and attack them and beat them well
at home.
Yes, and in Old Trafford. Yep, and in Old Trafford as well. So yeah, okay. Across the road, their neighbours, Man City, beat Wolves 3-1. Now I want to preface this game. Like the 3-1 that Manchester United lost is not the same 3-1 that Wolves lost by, because in the second half, Wolves put on a fight like there was no tomorrow. They woke up, they were dreaming. City scored their 2 goals early, very early, good goals, a penalty by a silly mistake. And then the second goal was pure City class of good cutting of lanes from De Bruyne to Sterling to Foden, goal. Yeah, typical, what's the name? In fact, Jesus was even part of it. So it's the usual a City goal that they carved out, granted. That was before the end of the first half. So any other team could, we're 2-0 down. That's it. We'll tuck our tails in. We'll go defensively, try to hold on so that they don't score many goals. No. Wolves woke up and Wolves took it to them really well. Up by 2-1, and we're taking it to them all the way. If they could finish, it would have been a draw. So City, I have them second. I'm still keeping them at second. I don't have them winning the Premier League. I still believe their defense is suspect, despite having Aki there. And what was kind of, in a way, I feel sorry for Wolves, because let's be honest here, you had Aki and Stones as a centre half, and Jimenez couldn't finish. If he could finish, it's not the strongest centre half pairing, but they held on, and at the end, Jesus scored the last goal and made it 3-1. So it looks as if though it was a bigger score, a stronger thing than it was, but it wasn't to me. How say you to this?
It was kind of like, for me, almost like you call it a game of 2 halves, and it's literally game of 2 halves. And you see the first half, Manchester City dominate very good from the beginning to the end of the half and lead it with 2-0, going to the dressing room. And I guess someone did an amazing speech in the locker room for Wolf, and Wolf come with power, amazing, and the score first with what is his name, Raul score, and in the 90 minutes, Gabriel Jesus score, and it's finished 3-1. But it's really good to see that the manager's speech really in the locker room really power the play, and the players start to fight really hard.
Yeah, without a doubt. So it's going to be an interesting time. These are all part. The 2, 3, 4, 5. There's teams. All of the teams. From Crystal Palace, Everton. We talked about Leicester, Wolves. There's possibilities. This top 6, top 7, top 8 is a big tough one. I don't care what anybody says. For me, right now, there's no clear winner. And we're going to go on to the last game of containing 2 of the traditional top 6 teams. But for me, there's no clear-out winner. But okay, here we go. Liverpool 2, Chelsea 0. Reef.
Okay. I'll be honest. I've been very disappointed from the game. From a lot of things that I read in and see and everything. And I talked with some friend of mine that are Chelsea fan. Everybody put a lot of emphasis about the keeper, about Kepa and Kepa and Kepa. And, you know, something break in the game. If you're looking on the game, Liverpool may be dominant in the first half more than Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you can see in a clear eye. But the point of Christian jumping on Mane and got a red card and being thrown out of the game, if you're looking at it in a slow motion, Kepa was out of his box and running to the ball. Mane, that's the point of mine, and this is what I think. The defense do not trust the keeper. And Christian did not trust his keeper that he's going to clear the ball and clear his line. And by him saying, like, he will not do nothing and we get a goal, I will stop it by me to jump on him. And if you look at it in a slow motion, you see he was reaching the ball before Mane, guaranteed.
He was. You're 100%. You're 100% right. Go on.
And this is kind of the break point of the game. So you're coming back to the field, you 10 people, you men down, you have kind of like unconfidence now. Yeah. And then Mane scored with the, honestly, beautiful goal, beautiful ball, beautiful header, with all credit for Mane. And then the second ball, Mane, Kepa make an amazing mistake. Mane take the ball, score it easily. Kepa, I believe, in my point of view, has pressure from everybody. From himself, the first one, to improve and to play on the game and to be good. From the manager to provide and to show good. For the rest of the team, is don't have confidence there. Is don't have like one for all and all for one as a military or as a division or as a team that's fighting. And I think this is the part of everything breaking down. Kepa passed the ball to someone that Mane just there. I'm like, I think it's like so pressure to play good and to do everything the right thing that you're making the wrong decision.
I agree 110% with a lot of the stuff you said. First of all, Christian was in the Danish princess, as I call him, was in the wrong position. He was bad defending. I get it, the two young guys, him and Zuma, and you really need a sensible head. But Christensen was in the wrong position. He had positioned his body wrong. By the time Mane had passed him, it was clear. But Kepa had it. Kepa was coming out. Kepa had it to clear it. And then Christensen did basic elementary stuff, which you're not meant to. What game are you playing, man? Rugby, this is not rugby. You don't, you're going to grab him and die down. You're the last elementary. You're also the last man. I get it. The basic thing is, if you miss the ball, don't miss the player. I get that. But that was your keeper. As you turned to look, your keeper was coming out. So your keeper had that one covered. By not trusting your keeper knows that, you know what? You don't trust me. And he probably, when they went to the changing room, and the thing was trying to make excuses. Yeah, I didn't think he was going to get it. I couldn't trust him. And everybody, all the defenders saying, yeah, you're probably right, man. You're probably right. You can't trust him and so forth. So by then, his morale, Kepa's morale is already low. By then, it's shot. Because by trying to do well, he made a basic elementary mistake, which you see it. Someone who has his confidence has gone. Nobody has faith in him. He has lost faith in himself. And the giveaway to Mane was poor. It's most unfortunate. Yes, he slipped last season in his performances. And unfortunately, that tag of being the #1 goalkeeper. And the problem is that also for Kepa made the biggest elementary mistake. And the biggest elementary mistake was when you were meant to be substituted and that league game against Man City, and you're disrespecting the coach, you didn't listen to your captain, Dave, when he tried to get you off to leave off. That's left a bitter, for me, in my mouth, for him. So after that, everybody's going to give him the side glance. So from then going, he had put himself in a situation which was not beneficial. One, because I tell you one thing, Gabriello was a good goal stopper. He was going to come on to save the penalty. We could have won that League Cup. And that's not bad for a team that we had lost about, was it 4-0 or 6-0? City had put on us about 2 weeks before that. So Kepa has built this antagonism, which he put himself against the rest of the team, against the rest of the defense from that spot on, from February. And it's followed him through season to season to season to now that nobody cares about him. The sooner Eduardo Mendy makes his medical and comes and starts playing somewhere in Spain, someone will take him a loan deal in Spain, probably, and then maybe an option to buy. How say you? You're muted, Reef. You're muted. You don't have to mute. It's just the two of us. You don't have to mute yourself, mate.
Okay, I heard from someone, and I'm seeing that kind of like interesting for today. But is Kepa supposed to go in the beginning of the season and go on a? Okay, I heard from one of my friends that said that Kepa need to be sold, not sold this season, but go and play for different team for the beginning of the season and get his confidence from something completely out of Chelsea and then coming back to Chelsea. And I'm like, I don't think it's the wrong things to do, but you know, we didn't do it in the beginning of the season. This game not going to help to his confidence right now. And I don't know if Lampard going to play him again for this weekend. It's going to be very, very questionable.
He probably has to play him. He has to play him because I don't know if Mendy has completed his medical. I don't know if Mendy has completed his quarantine situation.
But, you know, the other thing is like from the game today that Chelsea play, I think he can easily play Carrero, no problem if you want to. But the point is, when you have a player that costs so much money, and you're not playing on him, the value already going down. You don't want to lower the value so much. You have to play with him. And you have to show him.
The value is gone, Reef. The value has gone.
But if you play with him and he's built his confidence and he start to win, is that a good saving again? Is that one bad decision when he's going out for the ball that has been on the right side? Is the wrong decision to leave his box? You know, nobody perfect is playing on the moment of what's going on. So is that a good saving again? Is that a horrible loss? I mean, giving away the ball? You know, it's all over the place right now. I think he has to build his confidence. If the team to start to support him, he will come to his things. If he start to show more of himself to the season, his value going to go up, no question. But if you put him to sit on the bench, that's only to do one thing, only download his value.
I don't think he's even going to get the opportunity to be on the bench. I think, I believe a loan spell somewhere, most likely probably in Spain, for a club will do him confidence. I'll give you an example. Say, for example, he gets to go, I know they have a keeper already and so forth, but a very good keeper. He goes to somewhere like maybe Valencia or even Seville. They get a good run in the Europa League. They may even win the Europa League. We may see him in the finals, playing with them in the Europa League final. And then his value will go up again, his confidence. He's back home, you know, but because at this stage, that kick to Manny, the problem with the British media is that they'll always show it. Every time they'll say Kepa, they're going to show that goal. They won't show the second goal. They won't show the first goal. They'll always show that particular goal. That goal, by him kicking the ball directly to Manny, is going to follow him until he does something dramatically. And you're a goalkeeper. I've been in goal and you, as well. You're also a goalkeeper. But the thing is that unlike players like a defender, midfielders, I can go up and take a corner. Say I make a mistake. I can go up and take a corner and score a goal. Goalkeepers are only subject to the ball coming to them. They cannot alter and change a game. Unless, for example, there's a penalty save, like how Alisson saved the penalty. There's a penalty save. apart from that, you have no control of the game. No control whatsoever to change your fate in a game, to reap it. You haven't, unless there's a penalty and it's one-on-one, boom, you do a penalty save, fantastic. But then after that, all it takes is just one cross, one header, one mistake, boom, is a goal. And people say, oh, it's a goal to gain. So you're in a position, it's a no-win. He's lucky. He's very, very lucky that there's no crowd. Because if there was a crowd in there, I believe you probably see a grown man cry. How say you to that?
You know, this penalty is, I don't know how to go to this, but this penalty, because Gervinho scores so many penalties on this kind of style and this kind of things. And we saw just a penalty before that. I don't remember which game it was, but the penalty was retaken because the goalie left his line.
Manchester United, it was De Gea. De Gea's one.
He left the line before. He left the line before the ball kicked.
Yeah.
And in this one, you can see it, and they even pause it to show you that his legs is on the line. And this goal going to change all the aspects of the game. This is like, it has so many, you know, it has so many things, and it's not just, oh, Kepa is the worst. It's not Kepa is the worst. It's Christian supposed to get the blame too. Gervinho is supposed to get the blame too. It's not one person that all the game depend on, and everybody looking only on Kepa, and it's not true. It's another two big things that happen in the game. Right before the two goals that we received is Christian, the goal that we received, and then Gervinho messed up. He's supposed to score it. All the season you score all your goals. What's going on? This is the point. It was very disappointing to see that and to deal with that for that day. It was hard. It was hard.
It was okay. How say you to this? That Fat Frank does not know how to set up his team at this current moment.
Yeah, and we started talking about it before the game started, and we started to see that they're playing like 4-2-2-2, as you said, and they call it like 4-3-3. And you know what? And we discussed about it the week before that. So as we're speaking about, like last week, we're talking about the best way to play is like 3-5-2, and he's playing on this 4-2-2-2, and I didn't think he set up his team correct. I don't think the line is correct, and this is kind of hurts us a lot. It's like, you have to correct it somehow. You have to correct it.
Yeah, he has to. I mean, at this present moment, it's like a lot of it distorted. I get it that this week he finally, yesterday, it was a 6-0 win against Barnsley. And I know it's only just Barnsley, but it's good to get goals in. It's good for Olivier Giroud to score. It's good for Tammy Abraham to score. It's good for Kai Havertz to score. You know, these are important goals for them to get it going. It's good for Callum Hudson-Odoi to also play as well, etc. And also for Thiago Silva to play as well and get a clean sheet. Clean sheet's a clean sheet where you have to see it. You know, last week Wolves played against Stoke, and when you play around, they got beaten by Stoke 1-0. So you can't afford, because the way how the games are going now, it's EPL games, Europa League games, it's games galore. Then the weekend Premier League games, then League Cup games. They're trying to, it's condensed because the season's condensed by 5 weeks, and so it's games after games after games after games. The game this week is tomorrow. Liverpool are playing Lincoln, and I guarantee you a lot of their first team players will be played. Chelsea cannot play academy players because there's the bubble which is created because of the COVID, because you're playing your games so close together. You can't go from a Premier League game, bringing academy players into that bubble to play the League Cup game and mix with them, and then take the Premier League players out to play things. So your first team is your first team. Your academy is your academies at this moment squad. So it's difficult but it's the way how it's going to go to play it. So he's playing his players. I'll give him that. The 6-0 win today was good because at this present moment, we discussed this like you said, we discussed it last week. I was going for a 3-5-2, and he used to fall back on the 3-5-2 formation whenever we're against big teams. Whenever we go up, like we went against Spurs and Mourinho, we use that. We go against City, we use that with Pulisic coming through and scoring. And remember, we beat City. By beating City, Liverpool won the league. You're welcome, Liverpool. But for some reason, I believe at this present moment, Lampard does not know his starting lineup. And I get it, it's only 2 games. There are 36 games still to go. So I'm not worried. I still have Chelsea to win this league. I know Leeds upset Liverpool and got them putting through. So they're spending money like it's going out of fashion. And you look at it and you say to them, okay, well, you know what? You were talking about, okay, we don't have any money. We don't have 50 million to pay for Timo Werner. But you got 45 million to play for Jota. You had no choice in it. When Leeds finally got to you and showed you the errors of things, you had to go and spend 45 million to get Jota. So what were you saying, Liverpool? What were you saying? All right, okay, I get it. Jota is young as Werner. It just doesn't make logical sense at all. So Leeds showed that, you know what, you can get to Liverpool. Liverpool got the better of this one, but we'll see them again. We will see them again. And by then, I have every confidence that we will be on top of the division. They'll be chasing us by then. How say you to Chelsea beating Liverpool the next time round, Reef?
Next time round, I hope so. And I hope it's going to be a revenge. And we will see about this game in the future. But for today, 6-0 is amazing confidence. We see some goals, 3 goals from a new player. I saw Tony Abraham playing, and I love the second goal when Tony Abraham let the goal go. And I don't remember his name of the player, the German player that scored hat-trick today.
Oh, Kai Havertz.
Kai Havertz.
Yeah, Havertz.
And that's nice. That's nice to see that we're scoring and playing well.
Yep.
It was good game today. I mean, if you look on it, it's going to be almost like it happened all the time. It's going to be Premier League left in hand because Fulham won today and Barnsley win today, Chelsea win today, Everton win Leicester State, and the last game is in Newcastle. Newcastle wins 7-0. So almost you see all the Premier League going to go like for another group of games there.
The people who I actually feel, the team I feel sorry for is West Brom. Because when we play them this weekend, it is time to take revenge. West Brom, everybody's beating up on West Brom at this moment. Everton put 5 past them on their first game. Leicester put 3 past them, etc. So I don't see why we should win it 1-0. We should go out there. We've got our shooting boots on.
Yeah.
Our old friend, the Russian, will be playing with them. And I always can never get Ivanovic's name right. But
Ivanovic?
Yeah, he's playing with West Brom.
Oh.
I don't know if he's playing. Yeah, I know. I don't know if he'll be playing against us, Mr. Serbian. He is a legend. I always get a little bit upset when I see old Chelsea legends playing because he's a legend. Champions League winner, Premier League winner, Europa Cup winner, FA Cup winner, League Cup winner, true winner. He plays centre half, fullback, attacker. So it'll be odd, but I get it. Everybody has to make a living. It's business. I get it. Hopefully he doesn't come back and put one of his famous headers from the corner into the net.
Yeah. So for this weekend, it's going to be an interesting weekend because Man U starting with the first game this weekend.
Yes, against Brighton.
And the playing against Brighton. So you know, I mean, they're on the road, but I'd be surprised if they're going to lose in this game and not winning for Man U.
You don't think Brighton can get a draw out of them?
I don't think so. I think Man U going to come with revenge for that game.
I don't know about Man U.
And you know, and I see Everton playing like Crystal Palace, so that's going to be a good game.
That's a bit interesting game. Yeah, Palace
that
versus
is a good
Everton.
game.
Yeah, very much
yeah.
so. A good game. Yeah,
so Chelsea playing.
So that's why I'm not too worried at this moment, because Palace or Everton, one of them is going to knock each other out of the top 4 at this moment. Either they get a draw and get 1 point, which is not enough, or that someone gets 3 points and knocks the other one out. So it's early days, it's early doors. You know, I'm not too fussed about it. I can see it happen. The big game, of course, of the weekend is, of course, Liverpool versus Arsenal, which is good because basically they're going to knock each other out. Someone's going to get 3 points. Someone's going to get 1 point.
I mean, is there another game? Another game is interesting. I think is interesting. It's going to be Manchester City playing Leicester. So it's another interesting game.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah. By the end of this weekend, there may be a total shift in the top 6.
Yeah, absolutely.
Without a doubt. All right, let me do a little bit of homework, and then we're going to talk about our sandwiches. We'll take a question. The sandwiches is a question from our listeners. So I finished the homework. So we got the Premier League thing. Tomorrow is the Super Cup between Bayern Munich and Seville. So it's the UEFA Super Cup takes place. The winner of the Champions League versus the winner of the Europa Cup, and they meet tomorrow at 3 p.m. Local for East Coast time for those listeners on the East Coast. That'll be 1 p.m. Pacific. You can catch it. It's on a lot of the Spanish television stations have it. I believe it's going to be a very interesting game. A very interesting game. You know, it is a Super Cup, so it's all out. It's top teams are playing. So we'll do that. All right, guys. We're going to take one of our questions from our viewers. Remember, you can always get us on bluecheese1905@yahoo.com. That's bluecheese1905@yahoo.com. The question they asked that, guys, during the lockdown, what was your favorite type of sandwich to eat? Reef.
My favorite sandwich is, I say, chicken and onion gyro.
Ah, okay. You make it yourself?
No, just like a Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah.
There's no cheese on it. A lot of onion and a lot of chicken.
So do you use a pita bread or do you use a French loaf bread?
I use a French bread.
So it's greater than what's in it. So it's almost like a chicken cheesesteak without the cheesesteak style.
Exactly.
Right? All right. For myself, I like a ploughman's lunch. So I usually start with slightly toasted sourdough bread because I like my bread to be thicker. So back in Britain, I used to have a lot of Hovis, which is a bread from the north, which is really dense and heavy. You know, it's got a lot of grain to it. So I like the sourdough because it's thicker and so forth. I like it slightly toasted. Then I go along and put Branson pickle. The Brits all know this. Cheese on there. So it's basically almost cheese and then before you put the lettuce in there. So you got, and cucumbers. I love cucumbers and that. So it's very pickly. So it's got cheese. Now the cheese that I like to get has to be almost like a sharp cheddar. Mainly a sharp cheddar. You know, maybe an Irish, or what's that? Some of a Gloucestershire. So it's like it's a sourdough, toasted sourdough, Branson pickles, sharp cheddar cheese, lettuce, cucumber, and then of course the Branson pickle on top of that, slightly toasted, and we're good to go. Ploughman's lunch, as it's called. That's what I fancy. All right, folks. We have come to the end of our podcast for today. Remember, if you have any questions, you can send it to us on bluecheese@1905@yahoo.com. On behalf of Reef, he'll say goodbye to the folks. Say goodbye to the folks, Reef.
Goodbye, everybody.
We'll see you all next week. The good doctor always tells us to wash your hands, so we'll give it to that and say, wash your hands, folks, stay safe, and enjoy the weekend's football, and of course tomorrow the Super Cups football, and we'll see you all next week.